How do you select a lawyer? That depends on what your situation is and what you need help with. I'm an estate planning and elder law attorney, so I'm going to speak to that. Obviously, if your concern is a family law matter, such as getting a divorce or a criminal matter, you're going to look for an attorney that has that type of expertise. But when it comes to an estate planning and elder law attorney, how do you know who to select? Well, a couple of guidelines will help you. What does their firm do? Is this a large firm that does every area of practice? If so, they might have an estate planning and elder law department that focuses in on that area of practice. Lots of times people, when they're talking about estate planning and elder law, they're more comfortable with smaller firms. The reason for that is that they feel like the smaller firms will give more attention to the person as opposed to a big corporate type feel to it. If you are interested in a smaller firm, then you want to take a look at, well, how long has that firm been in existence? How many lawyers practice in estate planning and elder law? Lots of elder law attorneys practice solo. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that. But one of the things that clients will ask me is, well, Lynn, I love working with you, but what if something happens to you? What's going to happen to my estate plan, to my representation if you're not here? And I reassure them that I'm not the only lawyer here. I have other lawyers who have expertise in estate planning and elder law who work with me. We work as a team. So the downside of working with a solo attorney is that if something happens to them, and sadly it does every now and then, we all know that, who's going to help you with your estate plan, your representation? So oftentimes clients like to go to firms, even if they're small firms, that there's at least 2, 3, 4 lawyers, something like that, that there's enough depth there that if something happens to the lawyer that you've been working with, well, somebody else who's a good lawyer will step in. You still get the same culture of that firm, that same standards that you expect, the caring, the compassion, which is the reason why you sought that firm. So one of the things to ask yourself is, what happens if I'm working with a solo and something happens to them? So aside from the number of lawyers at the firm, you're going to want to ask yourself, what's their experience? I mean, if you're working with somebody who has less than 5 years experience, hopefully they're with a firm where there's other lawyers who can mentor them, because it's called the practice of law for a reason. You get out of law school and you get your license and you can practice law, but you might not know exactly what needs to be done. I mean, all of us who are lawyers have been through that. We understand that it's through years of practice and mentorship through other attorneys who are at the firm that you learn what you need to know to be able to give the best assistance to your clients. So you want to find out if this lawyer has, for example, less than 5 years of experience. I mean, that doesn't by itself rule them out, but it's just one consideration. Perhaps they have great mentors that they work with. Do they have expertise? I mean, expertise. We're in a world now where you don't just go to a generalist and expect to get really good service. Think about your doctor, right? Your doctor may even be an internist, but she will refer you to a dermatologist or an orthopedic surgeon or whomever is best situated to handle your situation. Well, lawyers have to be experts too. So if the law firm you're looking at and the person you're looking at, or the 1 or 2 lawyers you're looking at, says that they will do estate planning and family law and real estate transactions and criminal defense and personal injury, you might wonder how could they possibly have that depth of experience and expertise to really know all the ins and outs of estate planning and elder law, and I would suggest that they probably don't. So when you're seeking an estate planning and elder law firm, seek expertise. Find out how many years of experience does the attorney have, does the firm have, and are there a number of lawyers who can help you? Is there a team approach? Do they really hold themselves out to high standards to do it right and to show you care, compassion, and are they responsive to you? That's also very important. We all know everybody gets busy, but you certainly deserve to have your law firm get back to you at least within 24 or 48 hours if you've reached out to them. Find what works best for you, and you might not know it by just saying, you're looking at a Google review. You go interview the law firm, meet with them. If you are looking for lawyers outside of where you live, so for example, we at ELG Estate Planning have offices in Washington. We also practice in Idaho, but we don't practice in other states. So when clients call our firm or people call our firm and they say, I'm looking for an estate planning and elder law firm like you have, but I'm looking for them in Montana. What we recommend is that they go to the National Academy of Elder Law Attorneys, and that is naela.org. And that is the website that we recommend, because if somebody is a member of NAELA, that says that they care enough about their standards, the estate planning and elder law, that they have joined the preeminent national organization for elder law. So you can use that site, naela.org, to find an elder law attorney in your state. I hope this helps. We look forward to helping you at ELG Estate Planning if you are here in Washington or in Idaho.